I'm a manager since the summer of 2000, so just about 13 years now. The creator and founder, Greg Martin, he started this store. Originally, he started just a web-only business in '95, and after a couple years, he opened up the storefront in our original location at the front of the building. And we just grew from there. We did the shipping there for a long time, and eventually it just made sense that the manager and some of the other people who were working here would take the shipping department to Chicago with them, because they were all kind of living in Chicago and commuting down to do the job. So it just made more sense to split it out. And after a few years of doing it successfully that way, they decided to open up a store in Chicago. We have a lot more shipping customers than I think we do walk-in customers from both places. And I think part of that is customers who started with us maybe when they were going to school here or working here, who eventually moved away for whatever reason, but they stay with us because maybe they move to a place where they don't have a good comic book store, or the comic book store doesn't carry the stuff they want. So it's like we've kept all our customers that we've ever had, even if after they've moved away. There are people who have been picking up on Wednesdays for as long as I've been working here. And then, of course, there are a lot of college students who then only pick up for about 2 to 4 years before you never see them again. I've noticed in the last couple of years especially a lot more women coming into the store, a lot more women being included in comic book culture in general. And I think that's a great thing. And I'm happy that we have a lot more women customers, and women who buy and read comic books and aren't ashamed of it. Why should it be a boys only club? And I don't see like a big spike in sales when a movie has come out, but it seems like over the long term more and more people hear about the movie, and then they realize that it's still a comic book and they come in and get the comic book. And sales of Marvel books generally have gone up a bit since they started having more successful movies. I don't see any kids ever coming in on their own, but their parents will bring the kids in and will try to get them to read the more kid-friendly, easier stuff. I have noticed sometimes when the parents bring their kids in, the kids want to go for the video game tie-in books, like Halo and Mass Effect and all that stuff, and they have to kind of be pushed to reading these more kid-friendly books. I feel like the digital revolution, if you want to call it that, is still really new, too new to really know exactly what impact it's having. What I've noticed so far is that the webcomics are generally being bought by, like digital versions are being bought by customers who've previously lapsed from buying comic books, who haven't bought comic books in a long time, and this is a way for them to get back in. Like maybe they don't want to start buying a bunch of issues and have to deal with all the weight and carrying around all their books all the time, and so maybe this is like a way for them to still read their books but not have to anger their spouse and buying more comic books. But I haven't really noticed, I don't think it's taken away any of our customers. I think some of our customers buy some digital books and then buy some print books. And maybe they're willing to try something out in digital first before they decide if they want to buy it in print. So I've noticed those trends, but I don't know if that's necessarily changed anything. I would say our biggest problem here in Champaign-Urbana is our location. And it's our fault more than the city's fault or anything like that. It's a matter of having enough money to spend on rent at a better location, then also having money to spend on advertising to let people know that we're here. We don't really have the money to be able to do both. So I do worry that we get forgotten back here. I think if people just realized how many books there are and just how expansive the breadth and width of the scope of stories are. It's not just all superheroes. There's some great stuff going on. I think they would be more excited. But I think in the public's mindset, comic books are just superheroes, just Avengers and Superman and Batman and X-Men. And maybe that becomes a bit dull. Maybe that doesn't excite them. So maybe to get them excited, you have to really let them know. Like you have to drag them into the store and say, look, there's more than just capes and spandex.